friends, we are ready for another Read Again lesson, and today we're reading If You Give a Moose a Muffin by the author Laura Joffe Numeroff and the illustrator Felicia Bond. We are reading this book with permission from the Scholastic. So before we start reading our book, I wanted to work on some special words and sounds that we're going to find on this book. So we are going to find the word moose, we are going to find the word jump, and we are going to find the word wash. But before we look for those words in our book, I wanted us to think together on different words that are going to match the first sound in these words. The first sound in the word moose is the What letter makes that sound? The M. So let's think of another word that starts with the same sound, the same letter. What about the word mouse? So I'm going to write the word mouse. I'm going to use letters to write the word mouse next to moose. I need a M, I need a O, I need a U, I need a S, and I need a E. This is the word mouse. Now our next target word, our next word that we're going to find is the word jump. Jump starts with a j sound. What letter makes that sound? We can see it here. The J made the j sound for jump. What's another word that starts with the same j sound? What about the word jelly? So I'm going to use letters to write the word jelly. Jelly. And our last word that we're going to find in our book, and it's going to be interesting to look for it, is the word wash. The beginning sound for wash is wa, wa. What letter makes the wa, wa sound? The W, we can see it right here, makes the wa, wa sound. And let's think of another word that starts with the same wa, wa sound. What about water? I'm going to use letters again to write water next to wash. So now we found different words that start with the same beginning sound. We have moose and mouse. They both start with the sound. We have jump and jelly. They both start with the j sound. And then we have wash and water. They both start with the wa sound. Now we are ready to read our story. So we have our title page where we can again find important information about our book, and then we have our first page. If you give a moose a muffin. So I have the word moose, and there's another word that starts with the same sound. Muffin, moose, muffin. He'll want some jam to go with it. Preschoolers, there's another word, want. Some jam. There's our word that we were looking for. So you bring out some of your mother's homemade blackberry jam. When he's finished eating the muffin, he'll want another, and another, and another. When they're all gone, he'll ask you to make some more. You have to go to the store to get some muffin mix. Oh, those are two words together, muffin and mix. He'll want to go with you. There are another two words, one and with. When he opens the door and feels how chilly it is, he'll ask to borrow a sweater. When he puts the sweater on, he'll notice one of the buttons is loose. Preschoolers, to notice something is to pay attention to something, to see something. He'll ask for a needle and a thread. He'll start sewing, but the button will remind him of the puppets his grandmother used to make. To remind something is to remember something that happened to you in the past. To be reminded is when you see something and that thing makes you remember or something that happened to you before. So here the moose was reminded of the puppets when he saw the needle and the thread. So he'll ask for some old socks. Look at him working carefully. He'll make some sock puppets. When they are done, he'll want to put on a puppet show. He'll need some cardboard and paints. He'll ask you to help make the scenery. Wow, the scenery is the big background that people put on stages when there is a show. So they're working on a big background for their puppet show. When the scenery is finished, he'll get behind the couch, but his antlers will stick out. So he'll ask for something to cover them up. You'll bring him a sheet from your bed. When he sees the sheet, he'll remember he wants to be a ghost for Halloween. He'll try it on and shout, "Boo!" It'll scare him so much he'll knock over the paints. So he'll use the sheet to clean up the mess. Then he'll ask for some soap to wash it out. He'll probably want to hang the sheet up to dry. He'll go outside to put it on the clothesline. When he's out in the yard, he'll see your mother's blackberry bushes. Seeing the blackberries will remind him of her jam. He'll probably ask you for some, and chances are, if you give him the jam, he will want a muffin to go with it. The end. Preschoolers, now that we're done reading a story, I wanted us to discuss some words that we found on our book. I used letters to write those words here so we can remember them. I wrote the words notice, remind, and try. So let's find the page where we found the word notice, okay? And it's right here where the moose was trying to put on a sweater, and the page says, when he puts the sweater on, he'll notice one of the buttons is loose. To notice something is to realize, to pay close attention to something. And in this case, the moose realized that the button was loose and he was thinking of fixing it. He tried to fix it because he noticed, he realized, he paid attention, and he saw that the button was missing. Our next word is the word remind. And we can find the word right on the next page. The next page says he'll start sewing. The button will remind him of the puppets his grandmother used to make. To remind or to be reminded of something is very similar to remember. So when you are reminded of something, or when you remind something to someone, you're making that person remember, or you are remembering yourself something that happened to you. In this case, the moose is remembering the old puppets that his grandmother used to make. So he was reminded of the puppets. So when someone makes you remember something, that person is reminding you of that thing. And the last word we are discussing in our book is the word try. So we can see that word right here. It says, when he sees the sheet, he'll remember he wants to be a ghost for Halloween. he'll try it on and shout, boo. So here's the word try. And to try means to make an effort, to make something, to try to accomplish, to try to get something. In this case, he was trying and to see if the sheet fit his body as a Halloween costume. So that's what trying means, when you make an effort and when you work hard to get something. That's what trying means. So now we talked about the words notice, remind, and try. To notice is to pay attention and see something. And to be remind is to remember something. That's when someone or something makes you remember a thing, a toy, a friend, something that happened in the past. And then to try is to make an effort to make a new thing, or to try a new game, or to try a new food. So those are the words that we were working on today. And what I wanted to ask you is to see if you can try and think of examples of this word. When was the last time you noticed something? Or what are you noticing now? Or for example, when was the last time someone reminded you of something? Like someone reminding you that it was time to take a shower, for example, or it was time to go to bed, or the last time you tried something new. When was that? So let's think of those examples, and then you are welcome to share those examples with the people at your house, and you can ask them too, when was the last time they did the things our words are telling us? Notice, remind, and try. So thank you so much, friends. I will see you in our next lesson. Bye.